Hello students, want to talk about the surface planer this morning. So let's get started. I want to show you how to start the dust collector first. Move my GoPro over here. Typically I will have this on already, which means I've switched this and I've turned off the alarm. All you got to do is push start. Okay. That needs to happen before we run any of the machinery in the shop because they're all connected, or most all of them are connected to the vent system that we just turned on. All right, so first things first, I have to be at this machine before you can use it. I want to check your measurements. The surface planer and sander can both be damaged if you don't have them set up right. So I have to be at both of those as you use them. So you'll bring your panel over, typically that you glued up, and we're ready to plane the two faces to make them perfectly flat. Okay, so this has been glued up and it's been scraped. It's ready to go. I've measured it and it's 15/16. So how do we do it? First of all, we got to turn it on. It won't turn on until you rotate the red button like several other of our machines. It pops out, then it's ready to turn on. We have to turn it on before we can make any other adjustments. So we said 15/16. I've got a chart here and I've pre-programmed it, make it easier for you to use. 15/16 is number 5. So I type in a 5 and I push start, and it adjusts to 15/16. And I want to check my board. Most stable side is what we feed it in with the grain, right? Don't want our fingers underneath or you'll get pinched. You'll only do it once. All right, here we go. So my fingers are on top of the board. I'm going to feed it in. And it's going to take up off a 16th of an inch. Okay. Typically we would flip it, go to the next setting, which is 6, and start. We give it time to adjust, and we feed our board through, holding it on the edge or on top, not underneath. So it's flattening our board. It's making the two faces perfectly flat. So let's talk about the safety test real quick. Question number 1 on the planer. Before turning the machine on, make all adjustments. All what adjustments? And the answer is the depth adjustment. That's what we're doing here. It's the only adjustment that we have on this machine is the depth adjustment. Next question. Make sure stock must be at least how long? General rule for all of our machines was what? Do you remember? 10 inches. Anything shorter will get stuck in the machine. So 10 inches is the shortest board. Next question. The planer should be used to clean up old concrete lumber or remove paint from lumber. Nope, never. Don't want to do that. It'll dull our blades. We've got about 200 blades, 1 inch by 1 inch in a helical head. We don't want to mess those blades up. Next question. Feed stock with the grain. Okay? You saw me doing that. We would never feed anything in this machine across the grain. Always with the grain. And that's on most of our machinery, except when we're cross-cutting on the radial arm saw or the miter saw, or using the cross-cut sled on the table saw. We'll talk about that. Next question. Says blank, look into the throat of the planer to see that it's operating correctly. You never want to look down here. Okay, if something's happening, you don't want to have your face down there, right, for kickback, or say a blade chips it's going to throw a carbide chip at you. So you never want to be down here looking into the machine. That's not safe. The maximum depth for the cut of this surface planer is 1/16 of an inch. You try to take off more than that, it's not going to do well, okay? A lot of times it'll get stuck and the belts will slip. Not good. 1/16 is max. Hold the board with your fingers on the blank as you feed it into the machine. We talked about that. We talked about on the edges of the board, not underneath where you get your fingers pinched. Next question, the instructor must check the beginning height before you run your board through the planer. That's true. I have to be at this machine with you as we use it. It is okay to leave the planer while running? That's false. Don't leave any machine. If you turn it on, you turn it off. We never leave a machine running. Next question, last question. A backer board must be used when you plane something thinner than 1/4 inch. Okay? So if we plane this thing way down to 1/4 inch, we would put it on another board called a backer board to support it. Otherwise, there's too much vibration and it won't plane it accurately. So it's called a backer board. Unless you're doing an advanced project, we won't probably have a need to use a backer board, but that's what that is. All right, good luck on the test.